Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Hit that bag.
Oh man, I ain't know what I'm talking to. Today we're here, Flip Man's Daily Live, wholesale real estate without using your cash or credit, aka Fliptainment. We're here to answer your questions about wholesaling real estate. If you want to join us live and get pushed to the front of the line, you can what I'm trying to say, go to flippanard.com, and we get pushed to the front of the line. Flippanard, spelled FLIPPINAR.com. And before we get started here, it's gonna be a semi-mukbang.
Oh my gosh.
A juice bang. So let me pour my morning meditation. See, they get you. I'm like DC Curry was on Friday. They didn't give you that 30-year mortgage power tap. So what I did was when I got a cup of ice from Jimmy John's. So this is not full ice. This $5 drink, overpriced, and there it is, magic.
And what is it?
It's called a morning meditation. Still got some left. Oh, it left the orange in the bottom. So Ken, you got to take this. I don't think you want to get the full effect. So now, put that top on there, baby.
And it's got orange, lemon, turmeric,
Boom.
organic ginger, guava.
Oh, got them before they got me. So I got two of them for the price of one. They had it on sale and didn't know it. All right, so anyway, so we're here. You still want to taste this? Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I said, you're not eating today.
No. How did that? Y'all like that? That's a little early for me.
I like this.
Eating that early, that's a little early for me. So, oh, that's good. So anyway, yeah, you want?
I need to cook.
What?
Is it a cookie? Oh, it's a cookie.
What? No, you can drink it. I drink, but I ain't no big deal.
Right, okay.
I ain't gonna die. I don't think you got nothing. Yeah, if you don't like it. What I'm gonna say? We ready for questions. I'm just in here, man. Y'all getting the best of me right now.
All right. Joe M from YouTube said, let's get this money.
Let's get it, Joe, man.
All right. Ruth Ben from YouTube said, I have a property for $5,000. That's what the seller wants for it. The ARV is $26,500. Is this a good deal? It's a lot of water damage and needs a new roof. Is this something I should walk away from?
Okay, just think about it. What's her name? Ruth? Just think about it, Ruth. We already know the repairs are going to be more than $26,000. That's a terrible deal. I mean, you overthinking it, man. Just drink it. Yeah, just drink it. Where's my napkin there? She didn't.
It's
What?
what is it? Spicy?
She don't probably like the little kick it got, whatever.
Because it's got ginger in it.
Yeah, she probably don't like that kick or whatever. So that's
Kick me up the seat. It's good.
yeah. But anyway, so I hope you want to speak in Kool-Aid. But anyway, so no, that's not a good deal, baby girl. Just think about it. The repairs are going to eat up the ARV on a property like that. Unless there's a lot of transactions in that area, which I doubt from the way it sounds, That's nothing you even consider. The repairs are more than what it's worth. It's just simple numbers. The repairs are more than what it's worth. When you start talking about water damage and all that stuff, it needs to be, yeah, and then you can do with that.
All right, QP Flick said, what do I send in an email to potential cash buyers?
The information about the property.
Yeah.
That's it. You know,
All right.
That's it.
Greta Jones said, Flipman, how are you?
I'm here.
Lady Jones said, what's the best way to negotiate a land deal?
The best way? That's too vague. There's too many factors to go. I'm not sure what you mean. First, you obviously have to come up with what it's valued at, and then are you going to pay cash for it, or it's going to be on terms, or whatever? That question is too vague.
All right, on Instagram, someone said any websites to find owner contact information.
Yeah, do a search on YouTube for Skip to Flip.
You might have to say that.
Do a
When they call it, pause it in a second.
okay. Do a search on Skip to Flip. Do a search on YouTube for Skip to Flip. Again? Did it? Okay. Go ahead and do it. Just delete that, Bo. We're trying to get Instagram corrected.
In the meantime, on TikTok, someone asked, what's that in your hand? I'm new here.
What, here? This? Oh, it's a makeshift mic. We have to use 3 different mics for TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. And so we got to come up with a way where I was holding all 3 of them in my hand, and it was distorting the audio. So this is the best thing that I can come up with. Anybody else got some suggestions out there? I'm open to it. It's the actual E. I guess E for entrepreneur.
All right, this one is from Maureen from YouTube. She said, if my LLC is based out of Connecticut, can my target market be in another state, or is this something I should discuss with a tax advisor?
Yeah, I would discuss that with a tax advisor. But they send you a check, in your name. I get it done all the time. My LLC is here, but a check is coming from another state. So.
All right, Marcus from YouTube said, what are some good areas in Birmingham to drive for dollars in right now?
In Deathlobe in the Center Point, Roebuck, Southeast Lake area. You can go get into West End, Inslee, Midfield, Fairfield, Norwood, Forestdale, Hewitttown, I guess Tarrant, Gardendale, Fultondale, Hoover, Homewood, Vestavia, really just anywhere. Just get out and drive.
All right. We're back on Instagram. They asked, what's the website to find homeowners information?
YouTube search Skip to Flip.
All right. On TikTok, when sending information about your deal to cash buyers, is it best not to estimate repair costs?
Back on that question right there. Hold that one.
Okay.
When you say a homeowner's information, I mean like if you have an address and you're trying to find out who owns the property, that's one thing. But if you already have their information, trying to get a phone number, that's the Skip to Flip. The county website, I have the owner of the property, the address that you looked up information.
All right. With the TikTok question, they said when sending information to your deals to cash buyers, is it best not to estimate repair costs when sending them over?
You can, or whatever. They still may come up with their own number. It doesn't hurt, or whatever. They may come up with a different number. I'm sure they will, or whatever. So.
All right. Well, Skip to Flip. Can I do a single skip?
Yeah, you can do a single skip.
How to find cash buyers?
On
TikTok.
We already answered. Or did we answer? We answered it?
No, I'm saying
Oh, okay. Yeah. Find cash buyers. Assume you have a property, Facebook, advertise your property on Facebook group, Facebook Marketplace, LinkedIn group, Craigslist, Realtors, Real Groups, use Bandit signs, Google. Makes it better when I got my stick. Google, sell my house fast in the name of the city. That's first two or three pages of results are going to be serious players, whether wholesalers or cash buyers marketing there. So,
All right, this one is from Tall Locks on YouTube. He said, Flipman, I'm working on a deal which I'm trying to wholesale. I'm contracted with the seller at $85K. The ARV is about $330K. What should my assignment fee be?
he said 85 and 130.
$330.
Oh, 330. Did he say what the repairs are? It's hard to say, my man, without knowing what the repairs are.
All right.
Got to have an idea of the repairs.
This one's from Titan TV. He said, should I keep batch leads if I just got your CRM, or do they do two different things?
They do two different things. The CRM basically manages your leads. Now, they do some of the same things, but the biggest thing with the CRM is that it manages your leads. It helps you to create follow-up, which turns into more deals, more paydays.
All right, Leonard Sykes said, hello, I'm in the market to purchase a home. Should I consider wholesale or flipping? What are the advantages versus using a realtor?
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
Let's see some banners. We got any in there?
I got one of these.
Okay. Okay. What is it?
It said, hello, I'm in the market to purchase a home. Should I consider wholesale or flipping? What are the advantages versus using a realtor?
Are they purchasing a home to live in, or are you purchasing a house to live in? That question is, I don't know what you mean by that question, Leonard. That's what I said, Leonard. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by the question. The initial question. Go ahead.
All right, this is on Instagram with text blasting. Do I send it to one by one, or can I do it all at once?
The proper way to do it is, well, if you YouTube search, number one, if you need a CRM to manage your leads, we were talking about a moment ago, do a search for Flipman CRM to help manage your leads, create follow-up, and so on. Does a lot more, but check out that video. We'll show you how it all works. But on the text blasting, it's easier that if you just to do a blast, that's not the correct way to do it, right? Not saying that some of it won't work, but at some point it will stop working. Go to YouTube, do a search for text to flip. Text, the number 2 flip, all one word.
All right, this is on TikTok. Someone is 17. What else do I need aside from a cosigner?
Assuming that you know what you're doing, that's it. Assuming you know what you're doing, that's it. You be the brains behind the operation and just have someone of legal age to sign, because you're not legally old enough to sign a contract.
All right, this is also on TikTok. Should I get a cash buyer's list first, or should I get the seller's list first?
Well, both work. What prevents you from doing both at the same time? Again, if you want to get pushed to the front of the line, you can go to flipanar.com. You can join me on the live stream. I answer multiple questions that way.
All right, Maureen from YouTube said, following the LLC question, you said that you have the check made out in your name. The contract still has your LLC name on it, correct?
Well, that's what I meant. The check is made out in the LLC name. That's what I meant.
All right, Lady Jones asked, are cash buyers usually willing to sign an NDA?
For what?
Yeah.
That NDA stuff, and just think about it. Just think about it, right? I know it's used a lot, but it's really not used in residential real estate, and it's used sometimes in commercial real estate. But think about it. If someone, all right, whenever we sign a contract, we're basically saying we don't trust the person, right? Already, right? That's really what you're saying. The handshake gonna be good, and there's reason for it, because a lot of people ain't gonna do what they say they're gonna do, whatever. So, but Taking it to the next level, NDA, which means a non-disclosure agreement, meaning you can't tell anyone about the property. If someone is going to do that, that agreement is not going to stop them, because you don't know who I know, and I can get them to act in my behalf if I'm going to do that. But in the residential world, that's totally not needed. Totally not needed.
All right, so this is from Maybe on YouTube. They asked, what's the biggest mistake you did coming into the field?
Not going harder. That's it. And just not going harder.
All right, M. Racha F1000. I think I said that right. He said, Flipman, not a question, but I wanted to point out that you look great. Looks like you lost some serious weight. Keep going. Yeah, because his ass don't be eating.
Hey, all I got to say about that is thank you. Yeah, I'm just glad it ain't a physically health reason. You know, life can be a you know what.
Okay.
Money don't make you happy. Let me just say that.
Okay, so this is going back to the question from Tall Locks. Said, Flipman, I'm working on a deal, trying to wholesale. I got the contract for $85K. The ARV is $330K. He said that the repairs are about $100K. So what should his assignment fee be?
What on that 331?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so break out the calculator, Ken, real quick. So 50% of that is 150,000 off the top. Well, 165,000. So you're at 185. But go ahead. Do 330 times 70%. 330,000 times 70%. I'm trying to just come up with what probably be a good number for him. 231,000. Subtract 100,000. It's 130. You don't have to do it. I can do the rest. Leaves 130,000. Yeah, you should be able to. You got it for 85. Yeah, you should be able to. At least 50 grand. At least 50 grand. Because they still, after paying you, okay, they'll be in, let me see. They still, yeah, let me see, wait a minute. What'd you say, 230?
231.
Yeah, so, okay, 80. Yeah, at least 50 grand, a minimum of 50 grand or something like that. That would be an unbelievable deal.
All right, this is on TikTok. House is valued at $490, but owner wants $450. Not sure what the ARV will be. What should I do?
You got to determine what the ARV is for it. I can't even. There's nothing I can tell you on that. You can YouTube search Flipman Comp Like a Pro, and that video will help you know what the ARV is on it. So also Flipman free calculator. Those two videos will get you going in the right direction.
All right, this is on Instagram. What would you recommend for someone trying to find deals in a city with low inventory on the market like Denver?
Well, you're basing things on what's listed on MLS. You're basing it on the realtor world. Denver is a hugely populated area. You can't go by. We don't. Our business is like in the bizarro world. A lot of you all know what bizarro is. You know who bizarro is?
Just
What?
No. He was answering the question. I said Jessica.
Oh, so you don't know who bizarro is? You know who bizarro is? Anyone out there watching, tell them who bizarro is. So basically, once they say it, I'll tell you what it is. They're basically, realtors are operating in a bizarro world compared to us, right? Because we don't focus on properties that are listed for the most part. So they're going to base the entire market on what's listed. We're targeting properties the person is not even trying to sell it until either they see a message of ours or they receive a message from us. So there's no such thing as that in a place like Denver. You have to market your butt off, generate leads that don't exist already. You're turning them into leads because there are people, a lot of millions of people own real estate. So there's an endless supply of deals there. So you're in the right place. So what was the answer? Did somebody tell you what Bizarro was? Nobody said what Bizarro? Huh?
Fictional planet. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, you right. Go ahead.
Appearing in America.
No, hold on. Let's say somebody. Who knows what Bizarro world is? I know. So I got some old heads here that know what Bizarro world is. Lee, I was some lames. Anyway, so I thought I was lame, but anyway, so they saying they just ain't telling me. People saying, yeah, but no, don't say it. Don't say it yet. I'll tell them in a minute. Go ahead, though.
All right, this is on Instagram. Can I still flip an abandoned house if the city has condemned the house?
Condemn the house?
Yes.
As long as they haven't, as long as they hadn't torn it down, it's just they lean on it at that point, right? Well, I'm sorry. Well, it's an order. I don't know how they call it, but it's on the condemn list. So you can get it off the condemn list because the city may just want you to go board it up, cut the grass, something like that, or at least show progress that you're about to start renovating. You may have to pull a permit or something on it to show the city that, hey, we're going to start doing work on it. Because they prefer you keep the property there, fix it up, so you can start continue to pay property taxes on it, right? But there should be some form of motivation there from the owner to sell. Not always, they still be in la-la land sometimes to sell cheap. So yeah, most definitely, it could be an opportunity. Somebody said what Bizarro was. Go ahead, tell me.
Oh.
Ain't nobody said it yet.
Somebody said Bizarro World is where the opposite identity of Superman is at.
There you go.
In Superman.
There you go. It's the opposite of Krypton. You know what Krypton is, don't you? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is bizarre. Well, kryptonite is his weakness. Krypton is where he's from. Hey, Bizarro was the opposite of Superman. He was dumb, but he had the same powers as Superman did, but he was like, just Bizarro, just the opposite of Superman or whatever. So Bizarro world, it's the opposite.
All right, so Leonard Sykes, that's the guy who asked, should he consider wholesaling
Not a benefit
for purchasing a home? He's purchasing the home to live in.
To live in, so that won't have anything to do with wholesaling. So you're gonna either need the cash to pay for it or the cash and credit to buy one. That won't have anything to do with wholesaling unless you're gonna use wholesaling to find a great deal. But Bizarro world, or the internet is powerful. We got some smart people out there.
Let's go down. All right, so Lady Lee from YouTube said, hey, I have a potential lot/land under contract for $150K in an urban neighborhood in Vegas. What are your thoughts on cash buyers buying it?
Well, I'm pouring mine some more morning meditation. Well, you say you got under contract for $150,000. Is it worth that? Or is that the value of it, or is it worth $300,000 and you got it for $150,000? If that's the case, then you have something. But if it's worth $150 and you have it under contract for $150, you just have a property that's for sale, and really, it's going to be hard to make an opportunity out of that.
All right, X Lee said, does your CRM use Twilio or another phone provider?
Twilio is the foundation of it, yes.
All right, Aaron Johnson said, what are some good marketing strategies to attract sellers other than Bandit signs?
Text messaging. YouTube search text to flip, the word text, the actual number to flip. So text messaging, cold calling, driving for dollars. Some people would door knock, direct mail, Facebook ads, other wholesalers, Google ads, AdWords. What I not even think of.
Facebook groups, you said that?
But that's
Groups?
the cashback.
Well, all of that.
Mhm.
All right. Brian Tisdale said, how do you think Zillow's cash offer program will affect the wholesale league? How do you plan to compete with Zillow's Z cash offer program?
Man, it's just somebody else and they're so nothing. It don't affect it at all or whatever. At this point, I'm sure they have a bigger game plan, but listen to me good, right? There are some huge brokerages out there that buy and list a lot of properties. They have their lane. You have your lane. Zillow cannot buy all of the properties, period. Can't even come close. Number one, they're only targeting certain types of properties normally in higher end areas, B and A neighborhoods normally. And then they're only in select markets right now. Now that may change, but I'm just telling you, forget about that, man. No one group of people just everybody not going to do the same thing. There's endless amount of opportunity out in real estate. Even as big as Amazon is, they still only make a small percentage of the retail business. As huge, as big as they are, $1 trillion company, they only just a small percentage of the actual retail market. It's just not possible, man.
All right.
Stop looking for excuses and get out there and get it.
All right, this is on TikTok. Are you familiar with buying tax properties in Mobile, Alabama?
Well, that's the state of Alabama, so I understand the process or whatever. If you depending on what stage of it you're, acquiring the property or spending money on it, tax deed, tax certificates, so it just depends on what stage you're in. Alabama is tricky because of the lengthy redemption period.
All right, this is on Instagram. I'm low on money and credit, and someone told me to get a hard money loan. You said you don't say.
Wait a minute, you're low on money and you're low on credit, but somebody suggests you get a hard money loan.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't mix.
Yeah, he was asking. He said you never say much about it, but is it worth it?
What, hard money?
Mm-hmm.
It's not needed for wholesaling. If you're trying to buy, fix, and flip, then it can be a need, but for wholesaling, it's not needed. The money comes from your investor that may be using hard money. That won't have anything to do with you. But even to acquire hard money, they're going to want, you say you have no money, we can stop right there. They're going to want 10, 20, sometimes 30% down. So if you don't have any money, hard money won't be an option anyway.
All right.
But you don't have to worry about that because that's the whole purpose of wholesaling. Your cash or credit situation won't matter.
All right, this is on TikTok. If you close virtual, how do you get your check, mail or wire?
Just depending on what the options are. I prefer a wire because I get it, within a couple hours of the transaction normally, depending on what time they close, or definitely by the next day.
All right, can you find buyers on prop streams?
Yes, it has a cash buyer feature there that you could target.
All right. This one came from John Dow on YouTube. He said, I am texting, but can only take calls during my lunch break. Plus, I can't get a hold of them again. Do you have a recommendation of a service that can answer these calls and do a mini prequel?
Well, there are tons of answering services out there. The one I use, they're okay. I can't say I'm really just totally satisfied with them, but I've been using them for a few years now. I guess I'm sending them my money. I just hate to change and have to retrain them the way I want it done. They're pretty much there, but a couple of things I don't like about them. I wouldn't even recommend them. So, but I'm using it, and I'll tell you. Well, no, I won't. I won't even give them that. But there are tons of answering services out there or whatever. So. But I don't think you're really not. See, if they call you back or respond to you, right? They had this thing they invented about 30 years ago called caller ID. Just call them back. Hey, I saw where you left a message or called my number. I'm assuming you're calling about selling the house. Just call them back. That's fine. On your break, when you're off work, on your lunch.
All right, so Leonard Sykes said, are you still offering your wholesale and flipping course?
Yeah. Just go to flipman.net. You'll see the Flipman logo with the guy holding the cash. And just tap that logo. It'll take you over to that option there.
All right, Laura Hudson said, hi, Ty. She said she sent over some info to see if she has a deal, how long until she gets a response.
When did you send it over, Laura? If you could let us know. Put that banner up on the thing. It should be a recent one I put up there.
Do you later?
Yeah. But it don't have the deal later thing on it though. Yeah, you just submit the deals to deallater.com.
It's that one.
Yeah, but that just talk about the free trial though. That's fine though.
Okay. I try.
But yeah, if you want to partner with me, if you have a property and you need a cash buyer, needs to be under contract, needs to be a great deal, off market, and
Dealing directly with
owners. Laura, Laura, DM me that address on Instagram, and we'll look it up. But also, if you could put in the notes here, when did you send it over or whatever? Or we try to, we try to make it a priority, at least let people know yay or nay, and how we can proceed further. So.
All right, Titan TV said, what is the correct size Bandit signs I should buy? I've noticed that the first batch I got was way smaller than others I see out and about.
I use 18 by 20, well, allegedly, 18 by 24 portrait. As you can see, instead of like this, which is horizontal, I guess you would say, or landscape, vertical, right? You can get more message there, still not losing. It's still, the main message is still large, and I can put more content in there or whatever. So website, what you don't have to do that, you just put a tagline there and tag, or however you want to do it. Call or text, phone them. So I got 3 different ways they can contact me.
All right, this is on Instagram. How many times should you follow up with a lead before I consider it a dead lead?
Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Now, I guess it depends on if you're talking to the person or have communicated with the person or not, or whatever. If you've communicated with them and they keep communicating with you, but just haven't either told you no, or they've given you a price that doesn't work. So that it can go in a lot of different directions because it depends on what response, if any, are you getting from the lead. So if it's a situation where they're thinking about it, you definitely want to keep following up with them. If it's a situation where the price is too much, maybe a couple of times, a month or two apart, 2 or 3 months apart, and maybe just because the situation's change. So it's more or less, if they just thinking about it, then you're close to a price. Those are the ones you really want to make a priority to follow up periodically on to see if you have something there, until they just tell you no or whatever. So.
All right, this is also on Instagram. Is your CRM tied to your prop stream, or is it completely separate?
Completely separate. Yeah, so if you want the CRM, want to be able to manage your leads, great follow-up, YouTube search Flipman CRM.
All right, this one came from Bridget Lopez. She said, Flipman, I'm back. You gave me advice last week. I'm working on getting this property, and I offered $56K. Repairs are $15K, and the ARV is $130K, and I'm looking to make $10K. Is this a good deal?
130 times 10 is 13. What is that? 13. 26, 39. So that's basically 40. So you're at 90. You're close. That may be doable because you're at a total of 81 right now. So and she said the repairs was that. So that's close. You may not be able to make 10, but maybe 5. So it's close.
All right. So Brooke from YouTube asks, can you write off things for tax purposes such as prop stream?
Most definitely. That is a hard cost. Yes, most definitely.
David asks, how do you find the comps of a property off market?
Comps of a property off market? Comps of a property off market. Well, oh man, that's a simple question. Well, she just mentioned Later, aka PropStream. That's one way. You can YouTube search Flipman Comp Like a Pro, and also Flipman Free Deal Calculator. And those videos will show you how.
Okay, this is a similar question. How do you wholesale a property that's listed for $17,000?
That's a vague question. That's listed. So it all still starts with, which I don't encourage newbies to target those type of properties that are listed with agents. But what's the ARV on it? Is the ARV 100? Repairs are 30? All that stuff still factors in or whatever. See, what you have to understand, properties that are listed, if they're great deals, they last hours online. If it's there for 17, how many days has it been there? Then again, you just have to understand the process of dealing with a real estate agent also. So, but it's possible. You say how to do it. YouTube search how to wholesale houses using realtors and put Flipman behind the search. I explain in that video, but I don't recommend newbies. If you're asking that question, that's definitely something you don't need to be focused on, my man.
All right, this is on Instagram. It's a potential deal. I have it for sale by owner. Property is in Virginia. It's a bar at the bottom of the of the house. Of the property, and then it's a house above the bar. And the owner is asking $200K for it. He's willing to negotiate. What's some advice you can give?
Well, it sounds like a mixed-use property. It still boils down to being as a mixed-use property. So he says a bar at the bottom of it.
Bar at the bottom. House
And a living dwellings up top. Those are hard to value. What's around it? Is it thriving businesses on the left and the right or across the street? All of that will factor in or whatever. So it's just there and every other building is vacant. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff will factor in. Is the bar open? If so, how much money is he making? Because now you're in selling the business also, or is it vacant? So all that stuff will factor in.
All right, do you lease houses? This is on TikTok.
I've done it before, not really my thing.
How do you find the value of land?
That's one of the issues with land, is right, because a lot of times with houses, you have other houses to compare to that have sold recently of similar house. With land, that could be very difficult, right? Because depending on where the land is, you may not have anything to compare to it recently or whatever. So now it gets into, is this land in this type of neighborhood or that type of neighborhood? Is this land residential? Is it commercial, right? The simple thing you can do, whatever the county, not saying that this is just gonna always get you going in the right direction, but a lot of times it's hard to go wrong with it. If the land, say the piece of land is worth $100,000, you're trying to get it at 30 cents on the dollar. More than likely, you might find a buyer for that. Not sure how long or whatever, so you get it at a significant discount. But value of land is different, just too many unknowns because it is a speculation type property. It's at the highest form of speculation when you start talking about raw land or whatever. Does it have timber on it? All that stuff matter. What was there previously, if anything? Does it need an environmental inspection? It just goes on and on or whatever, because it depends. It's tough for land for me or whatever.
Okay. So someone asked, do you need an LLC?
Do you need one? At some point, you want to establish one because you are running a business, but to start, you don't actually need one. If that's going to be the difference between you, what's the word? Marketing and generating leads, having a budget for that and a budget for the LLC, you're going to choose the marketing if you don't have the money for both. And after you do your first deal, you can establish the LLC, if that's your situation.
So this one says, how do you go about getting a commercial property that has a tax lien on it under contract?
Same way with a house. It doesn't matter. The tax lien will just be addressed at closing.
Let's see. This one says, I purchased the Bandit signs that you recommended, but I'm getting a lot of buyers and not sellers. It's been over a year now. Any advice that you could give?
Wow, that's a long time not to get a seller. Wow, number one, what do your signs say? How many have you put out? How many stay out? You know what I'm saying? All of that factors in or whatever. And in knowing why you're only getting those type of calls. And then I guess in some markets, they might not be as effective. What part of your market are you putting your signs out in? All of that factors in also.
All right, is it necessary to go in depth with repair costs, such as like the roof, electric, stuff like that?
Well, buyers may want to know all of that information. So it's to your benefit to try to fact find on all of that when you're, speaking with the seller and what you may actually notice yourself. The more information, the more easier it is for your buyers to make a decision or not, or something they'll be interested in.
All right, what do you do if the buyer shows up for closing and the seller doesn't show?
You got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. You need to call the seller and see why they're not there. Find out what's the issue. I would rather that situation than the seller show up and the buyer don't show up. I would rather the buyer be like, "Damn, what's going on?" Because at the end of the day, that can be more resolved, in my opinion, in most cases than the other way around. So you just find out what's going on with the seller. Just maybe a mix-up. You don't want the other to happen.
Okay, I think we already answered this, but they're asking about the Zillow new program. How will it affect?
Yeah, we already answered. And it's not new. That's been around for a couple of years now. So.
All right. How do you calculate how much a cash buyer will pay for a property?
Well, that's part of just go to YouTube, do a search for Flipman free calculator. That video will explain.
All right, this one says the property that I'm dealing with right now, the ARV is $210,000, no repairs, and I offered $133,000 with $10K for my assignment fee. Is that a good deal?
If it's on the surface, it sounds like it may be attractive deal. Just quick numbers in my head.
All right, Carol Foster from YouTube said, Ty, I truly love your brand. I love what you do. You're a cool dude.
Thank you, Carol. I really appreciate you taking out your time today to consume this content.
All right, how do you feel about virtual wholesaling?
A lot of opportunity. The world is yours.
All right, Southern Collective Podcast said, I have a potential deal. The ARV is $175K, 15K repairs, offering $100K. Is this a good deal?
Oh, so what is that? 35. That's 52 off of that. So what is that? So that's 135. But I said 52. So we say 55. Trying to do some math. That's 120. And what they got on the contract for?
$100K.
And what were the repairs?
$15K.
Yeah, you may be able to squeeze a few grand out of that.
All right. This one says, what can I do as a beginner to start the business, start the process? Educate yourself.
Educate yourself,
And then
absorb all of this free content, all of this free knowledge. You won't find another source on the internet, in my opinion, that gives it all the way about wholesaling real estate, mainly houses.
All right, this is on TikTok. Do you know where I can find big time buyers for apartments?
Big time buyers for apartments. You could go through commercial brokers. If you actually have a deal locked up, you target commercial brokers that deal with multifamily properties. They'll have tons of clients ready to rock and roll.
All right, this is on Instagram. When I use Deal Machine, sometimes I click on a house that needs a lot of repairs. It says it's corporate owned. What does that mean? Who owns it? The bank or corporate?
Well, it could be both. It could be an actual institutional lender, or it could be someone that has an established entity, an LLC or corp or whatever. So it could be both.
All right. Do you have any courses on commercial, wholesale and commercial real estate?
I have a course on flipping vacant commercial buildings. Whatever, you can go to flipthisbuilding.com to see some of the videos there and the pricing. Flipthisbuilding.com, like flip this house, flipthisbuilding.com. I can't believe that was available.
All right. This is on TikTok. I live in Virginia. Is the DMV area, is it good for wholesaling?
Is it good for wholesaling? Most definitely. You say he lives in Virginia? I mean, Northern Virginia? Yeah, most definitely. You're talking, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 million people. See, guys, all you need is people. Lots of them, they're going to have problems. And they're going to want to get rid of some real estate. Your job is to make sure you're doing an effective job of letting them know you exist. And they call that marketing and advertising. Yes, the DMV is great. See, Jessica, I'm always looking at the time when I do that.
What else?
This one says, I agree, you're the best I've come across. Thanks for all you do.
Oh, I thank, what's Miss Miller? What's it say? Yeah, Miss Miller, thank you for joining us. Thanks for the comment. I tried my best.
This one, it says, hey, Ty, my deal is the owner owes $39,674. Good condition, worth $62. Is this a good deal?
He owes how much?
$39,674. Yeah.
And then the ARV is what?
62.
Not for just a cash wholesale deal. You may be able to get them to do some form of owner financing or something. But for a cash wholesale deal, the numbers don't work.
All right. Byron Scott says he's checking out the show from work. That's what's up,
man. That is exactly what I would be doing if I was logged in, right? Somewhere. I remember when I was at Bell South, it's just a little bit before I quit. Of course, it's part of AT&T now, but they bought them a few years. But anyway, so, I worked in the call center. And do my stories be good? Do they be good? Okay. I worked in the call center, right?
Oh my God.
And so this is when I started wholesale. I started wholesaling in 2003. I worked there until May. I started wholesaling in 2003. We'll just say February 2003, basically, is when I actually did something. I educated myself in January 2003 and actually took action in February. Closed my first deal in March. But anyway, so then I quit Bell South May 1st, 2006, right? So that's coming up on 15 years. I hadn't had a JOB.
I'm trying to get like that.
Well, you really don't. This ain't work, is it?
Well, no, I'm not talking about this. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, this ain't work.
Yeah.
Hey, so anyway, so I used to use the fax machine, copiers. It wasn't nothing for me to go in the copy. It wasn't nothing for me to go in the copy room and print 1,000 flyers off. I was just up there, gator. But anyway, so they had, we were in a call center, so it was real strict on time, right? Or whatever. You supposed to be there at 4:30, or you supposed better be there at 4:30. I think they had like a 2-minute window that before you come in late and be a strike against you. So anyway, they had to come up with, so the manager's always on your back about, sales and all. Even though we were in collection, we had to still try to, people calling in to make arrangements on their bill now, which means they probably can't already pay the what. And they still don't want us to sell them stuff, right? So I was already, by that time, I was already just tuned out, know I was going to exit at some point. I was just scared to. So anyway, so they had made an announcement that we couldn't use the internet anymore. Now, keep in mind, Bell South is a huge, again, it's part of AT&T now, was a huge corporation. So they were only telling us that, and it's a union shop. They have a union. I was like, I'm still using the internet. They're not telling anyone else not to use it. I'm still going to use it. And I was, They were like, Tara, you crazy? But I said, I don't give a, you know what? I said, no, that's messing up my whole operation. Hey, that's all I can do this and still run my wholesale business, baby, use all of their facilities. So get it, Brian, make it happen, man. That was before smartphones.
All right, this is on Instagram. I have a property that's bringing in $1,600 a month. The cash flow is about $997 a month. And the seller wants to sell $70K. Is that a good deal?
70,000, and it's bringing in 1,600. You said 900 cash flow?
Yes.
That's a smoking deal.
All right, you can submit it to us.
That's a smoking deal. Yeah, submit it to deallater.com if you need a cash buyer.
All right, is wholesaling good in Houston, Texas?
Most definitely.
All right, someone said, I'm at work right now listening to you as well. I got my wireless headphones.
That's what's up. That's right. Hey, max those.
Somebody said I'll be doing the same.
Yeah. Hey, max all of those facilities out. Don't get fired though. I don't know if I can help you after that.
All right.
Don't get fired.
Okay. All right, this one's from Brooke. She said, is it best to go to the title company on closing day, or would it be better not to go?
Well, Brooke, hey, well, Brooke, ideally, it depends on the situation. If the seller and the buyer are going to be at closing at the same time, either you need to be there or someone representing you, or you already have that relationship built with the buyer where they're not going to trip, start talking too much or whatever. And it really probably won't matter anyway. But normally, in a lot of cases, they've never met before, and you're the glue in between them. So you walk in, hey, this is my capital partner on this deal, blah, blah, blah. They sit down, sign everything. You get a check, and the seller get a check, Brooke.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great day.
This one's from Michael. He says, I have a potential deal. Is the best way to find a cash buyer? What is the best way to find a cash buyer in the West Chicago area? All the same ways.
What you say? What's the best way to find a cash buyer?
Yeah.
He said you got a deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Other wholesalers, Facebook groups, you want to market your deal, advertise your deal. Facebook Marketplace, LinkedIn groups, Craigslist, Realtors, Real Groups, Bandit sign. Just do a simple Google search, sell my house fast, and the name in Chicago, Illinois. And it's going to be a list of, on those first 2 pages, the results on Google are going to be other wholesalers and or, cash buyers there that'll be glad to assist.
With cities like populated areas that's good for wholesale, because a lot of people coming in and Kansas City,
Well, it really is. It's just all about the population. Do you have enough people to eat consistently? So a city of a size of at least 250,000 in metropolitan, that means you say Mobile, Alabama, metro population, right? If it's over 250, you're normally good to go. Or whatever. 150 probably will work, but 250 is ideal and large. So the bigger the city, the more opportunities are going to be, period.
So on that same note, do you have any pointers for less populated areas?
Oh, like define less populated
Someone
area.
said that they're having challenges in a rural area of Tennessee.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
It's just not enough people. It's not. See, people that live in very small towns, they don't sell real estate. You know what I'm saying? They don't sell. So it's not, number one, it's not even it'll be hard to even come up with an ARV because you don't have anything to compare it to. So that means if there are no sales, there are no buyers in most cases. Now you have people, some companies say they buy it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you, it's just more difficult. Number one, to find a great deal because there's not going to be a lot of opportunities. People selling properties anyway. and then a cash buyer to even buy it or whatever. Now, there's always going to be some unique situations, but you're not going to be able to eat off of it. You may be able to do a deal or two a year, and that may be enough for you or whatever, but you're not going to be able to make a living off of it is what I'm trying to say. There's not going to be enough opportunities. So I grew up in a rural area, so a lot of people don't have the experience of both. So I got the experience of both. First 18 years in a town small, less than 1,000 people. The last 30, over 1 million. So I got the experience of a decent sized city to a very, very rural area, dirt roads. You know what I'm saying? That level of rural, so I know or whatever. And that's why all my people still live for the most part.
All right, this is on Instagram. They asked, can I do an assignment where I take home the difference? I have a hotel that's under contract for $5.7 million and have an investor paying $7 million.
Didn't
Can
they ask that question yesterday? Go ahead.
Same person?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and have an investor paying $7 million. How can I set up where I take home the difference in profit?
It's the same way. You put it in a contract with the hotel, with the owner of the hotel and your buyer. And you set up a closing, you're going to take the difference. It's the same way. Once you got both of those in place, you got a buyer, you say you got ready to go, and you got an owner ready to go. It's all about the paperwork then.
All right. Where do you place your Bandit signs?
YouTube search Flipman Ride Along Bandit signs.
How does paying taxes work wholesaling homes?
3 words for you. What are they, Jessica?
CPA.
CPA. Seek out a CPA.
3 letters for you,
3
rather.
words.
Let's see. See how Sally Mae calling me. See. Someone say, how can I partner with you 50-50?
I'm full of meditation, morning meditation.
Mhm.
And it's the afternoon. If you have a deal, you want and you need a cash buyer for it, you just submit it to deallater.com. Jessica spelled it here beautifully. Deallater.com. And it needs to be under contract. You're dealing directly with the owner. It's a great deal, and it's off market. Can't think. And my definition of off market, if I Google the address, is not for sale anywhere on the internet.
All right. What is the best approach to a cash buyer after getting a seller on contract? What are all of the things that you need to bring to your cash buyer's attention?
The address, number of bedrooms and bath, vacant or occupied, condition in your opinion, hopefully some video, pictures, price. That's it. And they're going to probably want to know how to access. That's it. Just general information about the property so they could see if they're interested or not. So,
if my cash buyer doesn't live in my city, how does that work with going to the title company and closing the deal?
they have some
They don't have to come in.
They have some powerful techniques out there. I mean, technology out there. Bank wires,
Mhm.
FedEx, UPS, email, all that stuff works.
Let's see. Someone says the text to get the 1-page contract does not work. The error says service access denied.
Because that number, I guess you might be doing the 833 number. The company that I was using, that they did away with the number, but I had it out there on so many videos, so whatever. But the way you can access it now, just go to YouTube and do a search for Flipman 2021 contract. Flipman 2021 contract.
All right, this is on TikTok. Can you explain how to get the ARV of apartments and how to run the numbers on it?
Apartments are not evaluated the same as houses. Some people, you can compare what recently sold apartment building, but a lot of times there's not enough activity to do it that way, right? So most investors look at How much income is it? It is producing, or can it produce? How much, or what will be the expenses? What are the expenses currently, or what will the expenses be in the future, whatever. So once you have the income, gross annual income, and the gross annual expenses, you get your net operating income. They call that an NOI. Now, you can use that based on the price to come up with what they call a capitalization rate, cap rate. It's basically how much interest am I going to earn on this property over the course of a year is a simple way of looking at it. That's how they evaluate apartments. Now you get into the number of units, the unit mix. Is it an A area? Is it a B, C, D? Condition? It just gets into all of that. So it's not the same as houses. It's not that simple.
All right, this is on Instagram. What type of paperwork can I use with an investor on purchase and sales agreement or the assignment agreement?
YouTube search Flipman 2021 contract. That video shows you how to fill it out for sellers and buyers.
Okay, this person is 15. They want to know where to start.
Educating yourself. 15, you're very fortunate to even be thinking about this at that age. You're way ahead of your peers or whatever I would assume. So everything you need to know, you have nothing but time, I'm sure, as a 15-year-old. So engulf yourself into my YouTube channel, over 500, almost 600 videos there now. I guess we'll be there shortly because we're doing these pretty much, 3 or 4 times a week, if not 5. There to tell you everything you need to know. So there's really no excuse if you really want to do this. 1 or 2 months, you could be an expert at 15 or 16 if your birthday doesn't change over.
All right, this is on Instagram. They want to know how can they get access to auction websites?
Google is your friend. That's not hard to do. And with auction, you need money. If you got money, if you don't have money, you shouldn't even be looking at auction websites.
All right, Simbo770 says sending out 10K postcards. Do you think high equity is a good list to target? Do you know the estimated callback rate? Think that's enough for a deal?
Well, I would target free and clear, because that means they don't owe anything, right? In most cases, high equity that's somewhat subjective, in my opinion. But free and clear means there should be almost 100% equity there. So, because you're playing the equity game. But sending out 10,000 postcards, you're going to get a 1% response rate in most cases, right? So that's really only like 100 people calling, returning you back, but you should receive a deal from that. Now, hopefully it'll cover the cost of that 10,000 postcards, but that's a lot. Hopefully that's staggered over a few months, a couple of months or whatever. So should get a deal.
This was from Al Joseph on YouTube. He said, "Hey Ty, I'm presently deployed overseas watching your live feed. I am educating myself for my return to the States. Upon my return, what is the first thing I need to implement?"
Marketing your butt off, generating leads. That's it. That's it, my man. The business just boils down. How effective are you at getting people to talk to you about selling their piece of real estate?
And thank you for your service.
That's what they say.
This one says, when you're approaching your cash buyer with the cost of the property, are you giving them the MAO price?
The cash buyer, something in that range. Yeah, something in that range.
How can you tell the difference between a cash buyer that's able to purchase homes or one that's able to buy apartments? So I guess, how do you know if they got the money to do bigger deals?
Well, if you ask them, what type of properties do you buy? Do you only buy houses, or are you interested in buying multifamily? You ask them.
All right, how much do you charge for one-on-one training?
If you go to flipman.net, that's flipman.net, tap the Flipman logo with the guy holding the cash. In that video, I mean, on that page, it shows the price. And the reason I don't want to quote it, because that's actually going to change here soon. So.
And do you have any pointers to get a seller comfortable with making a deal with you?
Just know what you're talking about. At the end of the day, The deals that's going to work for you are going to be people that are motivated to sell. But by simply knowing what you're talking about, and it starts with educating yourself on all this free information, that's it. That's the confidence that'll be needed for people to work with you, because you know what you're talking about.
All right, most of these questions that's coming in, we already answered them already, but this person said, how can we flip houses or, get a house on a contract with no cash or credit?
Well, that's the whole purpose of wholesaling. Wholesaling is a form of real estate where it allows you to, if you can find a great deal, put it on the contract, a cash buyer / investor will pay you to walk away. We call it a walk away fee, right? But that walk away fee can be 4 figures, 5 figures, and even possibly 6 figures on one actual deal. That's why you don't need any money, because someone else is going to take your position. They're going to buy your position because you locked up a great deal with a purchase and sales agreement, AKA a contract. If you could consistently find great real estate deals, you don't ever have to be broke.
Okay, this is on Instagram. How do you prevent a cash buyer, which is a wholesaler, from going behind your back?
Well, that's the purpose of your contract, right? So if a cash buyer goes behind you, really can't prevent them from doing it, but can they succeed? You can't prevent someone from doing it or whatever once they get the address. And there's no way where someone's going to evaluate a property without the address. So now you have to have 2 people that are shady, in the words of Jessica, the seller and the buyer. But most sellers know they've signed something with you. They're not going to do that with them. Now, what could happen, that cash buyer wholesaler could blow your deal up or whatever, and the seller don't want to deal with any of you all or whatever. But as far as that's the purpose of your contract, don't worry about that. You worry about the wrong thing. Just do your thing. You handle stuff as it come up. It's not going to be issue free. You get it? No business is not going to be issue free. That's why business is not for everybody, because they want everything to be lined out. I need to do this, send me a check. Do this, send me a check. That's not how business works. It's not going to be issue free.
All right, this is on Instagram. What website do you use to find both the seller and the buyer?
What website do I use, the seller and the buyer?
To find both the seller and
Well,
the
really
buyer.
not a website that to find them in a sense where they're just going to be, hey, here's a seller, here's a buyer, then I put them together and I get paid. It's not that simple. You use tools that provide you information that will help you in that process of targeting sellers and buyers. You go to dealator.com, aka PropStream. Just go to Dealator and watch the video, top 10 ways to use the best real estate tool. You can do a search on YouTube for that Flipman's real estate tool. I think we read it, Rob.
Because they're asking the same questions.
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain the ARV real quick?
YouTube search Flipman. What ARV means is after repair value. And that's basically you're trying to come up, what would the house appraise for in excellent condition? There's no formula for the ARV. They're confusing that with what they call the Mayo. The ARV is when you're trying to figure out what would the house sell for in excellent condition. That formula you're talking about is ARV times 70% minus repairs. And I take it to another layer of adding your fee in. If you go to YouTube, do a search for Flipman, free calculator, that video explains.
All right, this one's from Stedman Dublin. He said, how do you deal with difficult sellers that believe you're a scammer?
I don't know.
Don't deal with them.
They're not motivated to sell.
Right.
You're wasting your time. You're probably telling them too much. Number one, you are a cash buyer. You buy as is. You close in 3 to 4 weeks. You pay all closing costs minus any unpaid taxes, mortgages, or liens. That answers all of their questions. Anything more than that, you're trying to explain wholesaling to, just like you're sitting here watching this, you got tons of questions. You've been trying to learn how to do it and spend hours doing that, and you're still not sure. Imagine trying to explain wholesaling to someone in 5 minutes. Yeah, they're going to think you're a scammer. They probably never heard of it before. You know what I'm saying? When people that haven't heard of something before, that just automatically means, hey, it must be a scam or something because I don't know about it. No, that doesn't mean that I don't know.
All right. Do you wholesale outside of the state of Alabama often or always in your state?
No, that's what dealulator.com is for. We're trying to wholesale on Mars if we can get one. So yeah, that's the intent.
And then this one's the same question. Maybe they didn't hear us. This is the one where the owner owes $39,000, almost $40,000. The estimate is 62. Is that a good deal? He said no.
No, that's not a good deal. That's not even close.
And then this is the last one. You speak about other tools. I know about Dealator, but what other tools do you use?
YouTube search text to flip. YouTube search skip to flip. Some people want proof of funds. YouTube, you can go to realpof.com, flipman.net, YouTube search Flipman CRM. Boom, it's all there. So guys, we've been rolling for over an hour. Appreciate everyone that's joined us. Please like and share this. If we have 2 people watching, we should have 2 likes and 2 shares, right? So please do that. So again, if you want a copy of the contract that I've been using since 2003, YouTube search Flipman 2021 contract. We had no one join us today. If you want to partner with me, if you have a property, you need a cash buyer for it. It needs to be under contract. You need to be dealing directly with the owner. It's a great deal in this off market. And my definition of off market, if I Google the address, it's not for sale anywhere on the internet. So you can submit that at dealulator.com. Again, if you want your properties comp, if you want to know what the ARV is, submit the address to comps101.com. So if you're on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. Everything you need to know is right there on my YouTube channel. So what do you have to lose when you know the knowledge and training is free?
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand, flipping houses with